Running.
Hi, hello.
This is show 2. Show 1 was killer, and hopefully tonight will be more killer.
We'll get more and more warmed up and more comfortable, and away we go.
Yeah. People were really loving actually the new material that we played. The mood around the band is good. I mean, this is usual. That's about it, right?
Yeah, that's about it. Nothing really. We're not complaining about anything yet. Yet. We're kind of worried about the coronavirus.
Stuff
whatever.
is apparently going around. But
Not that we're going to get it, but it's going to cancel shows. That's what we're more concerned about. Well, before a month ago, I went to the doctor, got shingles, shot for shingles, which is kind of like chicken pox, right? Because if you've had chicken pox when you're a kid, you're susceptible to this thing called shingles. So I had that shot, and I also had a pneumonia shot to help prevent me from getting sick. So those are the things I do to make sure that when I come out here, I don't get sick. That's all.
I just smoked dope. I don't know if it helps, but it makes me feel okay. Yeah, I guess so. We could say that honestly, right? You know, I guess musically it's working good.
Yeah, musically it's working great. Couldn't be better.
You know, he just works here. You know, he's in the band, but he kind of just works here. That's really what it is. You know, Lips and myself, we write all the music.
We run the business, so it's our business. So he's an employee.
But
it's just the way that it worked. It's the way that it's ended up working out. It's the most comfortable and the most reasonable way that it can work out. So that's why it is that way.
But it's a good fit. You know, he does his job well regarding the music.
Well, in different aspects, like we had a bass player that we let in the business, and we let in the personal level, and we let in the writing, but he wasn't doing anything for it. And when that happens, it's taken for granted and taken advantage of.
It's just not fair.
And that's why it didn't work. We were still doing all the work, and the other guy's just is really hanging on to us, and then he's not really responsible for anything, and yet, and then at the end of the day, resenting us because we're getting all the attention because of the movie and everything. You got jealous. How come not me? Well, it's not my fault that you were 2 years old when the band started.
That's right.
You joined way after. You're not an original member. You're not really a contributing member either. And people know the difference. They can hear the difference. They know that where the music's coming from. They know it's coming from Robb and I. You're not looked at in the same way. And I can't. No matter what I do, I can't change that. But the unevenness and the bumpy road he created until the point where he had to go. And from that we learned, well, we better not, we can't, you got to keep things separate, and then everything's fine.
Everything is running perfectly in the last 6, 7 years or whatever. Or 8 years.
The worst is when after the guy quits and he's walking around. I wrote the songs.
Okay. Anvil is Anvil.
Yeah. The worst part is the guy after the fact, years later, is going, I wrote the songs. Well, obviously it didn't, because the band's continued without you long after you, and not only doing way better without you. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That doesn't add up. Maybe you were actually a detriment rather than rather than a good thing for the band. You were actually a bad thing for the band.
It wasn't an attribute, it was a detriment.
Yeah, and that's actually what it ended up.
It's good
Since the departure, we've done a lot better.
Yeah, it's good now. And we're going to keep it this way.
Yeah.
That's it. No, well, there's many reasons, but the only reason I'll say publicly at the moment is that just the contract expired. And we decided we don't have to keep there. We had other labels that were interested.
And
we're going to
people that were hooked up to our management.
Business. So we just said, okay, let's try somewhere else. That's the real change. And so far, these guys seem to be doing a pretty good job so far. So we'll see what happens. There's many. Like no one.
No, I mean,
so it's just listen. We're good business guys. We have a good business team now. So we're doing better shit. Okay?
Yeah, that's it.
That's our company.
That's it.
That's our company. It's an old company since 43 years, but same company. It's our company.
We love the music.
Yeah.
We grew up together. And listen to the same music.
What are we going to do? We love music. And we're artists. Right? We're real fucking artists, man. You know? So real artists.
And we both have a stake in what we do. We create together, and it's an equal opportunity, so no one is taking advantage of the other. We both need to be there to take part. And it's our thing.
You know, we decide what this album cover is going to be. We decide what the music's going to be. We make it's everything we decide.
That's why you don't join another band. You don't get those things.
Yeah.
This is ours.
Yeah.
We own it.
Yeah.
We're not joining someone else's band, either of us. Never. Why would we? It's our band.
Yeah. You know, people say things like that. They say, "Oh, you know,
why
doesn't Rob playing all these bands, whatever?" Right? It's like, you know.
Yeah. Why didn't Lips go play in Motorhead?
Yeah.
Well, I was in Anvil. Why am I going to do that?
Like, why? You know, it makes it so. It's just stupid things that people will think and say, but we don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks but us.
Anvil is Anvil. Anvil is Anvil. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Okay. We have ideas all the time. You know, you're coming up with a good riff. Lips has got.
That's not a problem.
You know, it's just you know.
What is the song called and what is it going to be about? Is what?
Yeah, the song titles. I have pages of ideas. Yeah, we have many ideas. When you're a real fucking artist, you have ideas. Okay.
That's what you're supposed to do. There's no such thing as writer's block.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything, or I'm out of riffs. You know? It's like, what the hell is that?
I mean,
then you're not an artist.
How cool is that? An Anvil bomb. Come on, man. It's fucking genius. Great. Now it's a pipe.
Anvil in the mirror.
Anvil is Anvil.
Yeah.
That's genius. Honestly, the last how many years? It's been going for a few years, but it's getting more and more like we're feeling it, right? It feels great. We work hard.
Yeah, we've built a momentum, and it's
we work fucking hard at this, man. You know what I mean? We're not fucking around. We really work hard, right? So it feels good. I feel we've earned it. We deserve it. We work for it, man. Fuck. So it feels good, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
So legalized, it has many different meanings. And it's good timing for it, I think, this time. And people really liked a lot of songs. We played 3 songs last night, and it was like
it's not just
like they were
it's
playing
not
for
just
10 years with the people.
You know, it's not just as simple. The idea is not just as simple as marijuana is legal.
Yeah.
It's about
it's
everything that's attached to that. To do with art. world environment, our ecology, our fucking health, everything to do with humanity is what this really is about. Why is there chemtrails? Because we've got global warming. Why is there global warming? Because we continue to use gasoline.
Fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels. Why are we using fossil fuels? Because we refuse to use things like hemp to create biodiesel. We refuse to use hemp to make cotton. We make cotton instead of hemp material. We continue to make concrete when we could be mixing it with hemp that lasts 10 times longer. So there's a million different aspects of not to even mention putting the chemicals CBDs back into our ecology, into the food and water and everything that we eat, so that we actually detoxify ourselves from cancer. That's why hemp oil helps cure cancer, is because it's an anti-cancer agent. Had that not been removed from our ecology and from our food and our water and our everything that we consume, maybe so many people wouldn't be dying of cancer. It's everything. It's not just as simple as I'm going to go smoke a joint. It's about the world that we live in and how we can make it better. And having it legal at last, and saying that it's legal at last, is saying the whole world needs to follow this and needs to change. And that's how we're gonna. That's a step in the right direction to fixing all the problems. We wouldn't have the air pollution. We wouldn't have the water pollution. We wouldn't have plastic. If things were made from hemp, biodegradable materials, you wouldn't have an ocean full of fucking plastic. You wouldn't have landfills filled with plastic. So there's many different concepts and ideas behind this. It's not just as simple as getting, I want to go get stoned. It's not.
Nothing in that whole record is talking about to do that. It's talking about
environmental issues, and that's why it's all packaged in there. It's giving a subconscious and on a subconscious level for us to be aware of the world around us. It's not just as simple as marijuana. It's not.
It seems that way on the surface,
like that way.
But it's not. If you really check into it,
and that's okay if the world wants to look at it in only a surface level. That's fine. But in eventuality, the lyrics and what I'm saying and what's really being meant enters you whether you like it or not. Like you're going walking around singing chemtrails, but what are chemtrails? Why do they exist? Do they exist? And if they do exist, why are they there? Well, they're there to prevent global warming. It's liquid aluminum being dumped into our atmosphere to reflect sunlight so it doesn't warm our atmosphere. That's what chemtrails are. Why are we doing that? Because we've warmed up our fucking world. We've fucking warmed up our world by using, fossil fuels. And we're killing our own planet because of the refusal to fix it. And there's lots of alternatives. So that's what I'm not Greta Thunberg. This stuff has nothing to do with Greta Thunberg.
Yeah.
This is completely this stuff was written and
well before she
long before she ever surfaced. So
It's got nothing to do. It just happens to be.
It just happens to be what it is, and it's a sign of the times. Maybe it's more about that rather than anything else. It's coming out with the right thing at the right time. It's coincidental, accidentally on purpose, right?
Lots of social conscious topics discussed.
Yeah.
Well, there's another process.
That's another aspect of
We're living in
our
a-
humanity.
yeah.
Everybody's under scrutiny. There's
Everything's
nowhere you can
watched.
go, or eventually there won't even be cash. Everything will be plastic money. So everything that you do, every cent that you spend, somebody will be able to look it up and see what you spent it on, where you went and bought your product from, who you bought your product from. There'll be no privacy at all. You know, they'll know how many condoms you buy a week. You know what I mean? Like personal shit that's no one's any business, and it becomes everybody's business. There's no privacy.
But hopefully there is rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, man.
Okay, I think we're done, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, I think we're done.
Yeah. I have to thank you.
Thanks very much, man. Appreciate it.
Okay.